What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit and I'm back with another post commentary here. I wanted to go over a new strategy, or not necessarily a new strategy, it's actually a very, very old strategy, but a strategy that has caught the ladder by a bit of a storm here. It is incredibly busted and it has seen a recent nerf, but I honestly don't think that the nerf is enough to stop this strategy from being effective. It's still going to be incredibly oppressive on the ladder, and it's definitely something for people to give a try. If you stick around to the end of the video, I've got a little bit of a suggestion for ways in which you might be able to counter this one, especially as Loki, who's my opponent. But we're running in with Isis, and Isis has got some incredibly strong bonuses, namely God Path. It's funny, you can think about a god as their unique bonuses as being like, I don't know, bonus HP on a myth unit, right? But in some regards, a god having certain God Path is pretty much just as important as the bonuses associated with the god. Like, for example, if Gaia had Legacy Prometheus, that god would have been absolutely broken on the Titans, right? But the point is here that Isis has got access to Ancestors and have access to Eclipse. I want to talk a little bit about that a little more, but just on this build order, a lot of people aren't really aware of this, so I want to make it 100% known. You can actually drop resources into any drop site so long as the unit finishes constructing it. You can't drop it into the drop site when it's finished, but so long as the drop site is built by the villager holding the resources, they will drop those resources off. So you can get some very, very slight efficiencies in your opening build orders to get certain upgrades. So I do rush out pickaxe here, which will give me a little bit more gold in the early game. Anyways, back to the God Path. Ancestors Eclipse, Nephthys Bast. These two gods give access to an insanely strong combo, and with Retold has come a lot of balance changes. And one of the big balance changes that I don't think people have really thought about that much is villagers are a lot weaker. And here's the thing. Villagers being weaker, that just means that attacking villagers is stronger. That means raiding is stronger. And guess what is an incredibly strong usage of Ancestors Eclipse from the Titans? Ancestors Eclipse on economy. So it's back, much more fierce than ever. It does a lot of damage to every civilization you use it on, and it's very, very challenging to defend. So the gods that can defend this with some relative ease are going to be Zeus and Poseidon, having access to Hermes. You can click ceasefire to block the part of the ancestors, and that can be enough to get your heroes back and defend against all of the chaos, or at least you can restrict your villagers from getting killed for a smaller amount of time, or stop gathering from a small amount of time. You can just garrison them. But yeah, so we're going to be going for a fast heroic here. I'm just opening up with a build order that I think is pretty strong. I'm actually able to get everything I need, a very, very solid advance time. I've been seeing a lot of players advancing really, really late with their fast heroics, and I mean, honestly, I don't think a late advance time is necessary. You can get an incredibly efficient fast heroic with a 430 advance. Yeah, I've got all the upgrades that everyone else is getting. My monuments are maybe a little bit late. I can throw them down now though, or whenever I want. And the big thing is with Retold, I can actually build my monuments straight away. I don't have to wait for the monuments to finish. So once I get the food and the gold, they're going to be coming down. So in advancing as fast as I do here, I get access to my priest being a bit stronger. I get access to my pharaoh being a bit stronger. I'm also throwing up obelisks all the way around my opponent's base here. So you can see on my side of the map, I don't have any obelisks there. It's because I don't care. I'm not going to be going onto my side of the map anytime soon. I'm sitting in my base. I can scout around with a Sphinx if I really want to, and I'm going to be completely fine here. I just want to see what my opponent's doing, and mostly I want to see if he's going to be going for a fast heroic or not. So this is effectively what I'm trying to do with this priest. I'm just trying to get some sort of an idea of what sort of a strategy my Loki opponent's going for, so that I can play around it, because there are some things to worry about when going for this build. So that's why I'm getting so aggressive with those obelisks, and he does snipe a couple of them down, but there's still a couple of them left, and I do see him going through Heimdall. So one thing that I am genuinely scared of is Walking Woods. So all I've got to do is ensure that I've got some priests out, and I should be okay to defend against that. But I also know that that Walking Woods attack is probably not going to be able to come for quite some time. At the very earliest, if he's got a forward temple, probably 6 minutes is as early as that attack is going to come. So so long as I start getting my priests out and defend that, I should be okay. But I still don't actually know what he's doing at this point. But I know he doesn't have that many units out, so he's either going for a talent center or he's going for a heroic age. So it's a little bit scary. But the good thing is that even if he does go for that attack, I'm going to be able to Ancestors Eclipse his base, and we're just going to kill each other with our own god powers, and we're going to be in a bit of a mess. But I'm going to run my Sphinx in here and just look for a smallest amount of damage. I see a great haul getting thrown down at 547. That's a huge amount of information there for me. Knowing that that is coming through that late, that's a big amount of bonus for me. So I get a sub 7 minute heroic age with 3 monuments, with Flood of the Nile, with pickaxe. This is really good for me. I'm going to throw everyone onto gold and click prosperity. You'll also note that I threw a market down. Reason for the market is this prosperity that I'm going to be able to use here. I'm not going to need all this gold. I mean, I might go for priests here, but I'm not going to need all of this gold to do everything. So I can actually buy food, or I can buy wood, or whatever. We're just going to get a little bit of harassment here onto these gold villages. A lot of dwarfs on gold. I'm almost 100% certain my opponent's going for a fast heroic here. And there's the armory. So I get that confirmation, and I'm already producing priests out into my main base. It's probably not a bad idea to actually garrison my priest into the town center, just so that if he is watching me and he's like, okay, I'm not going to use the Walking Hoods, he's already got priests there, I can pretend like they're not there and be defending myself. So yeah, we are playing around some crazy stuff here. And then Ancestors Eclipse comes down. He's going to have to garrison all of his dwarves for the entirety of this Ancestors. In fact, the Hersa, actually, if I do focus them down with the minions and micro a little bit, I'm pretty sure I can actually kill those off. But nonetheless, we are just going to be idling the entirety of the economy and starting to get into a heroic age sort of push here as he goes through Njord. And it's just a bit late for him. I know you can go really fast here with Loki. He goes a little bit late, and I get the first jump on him, especially with all my priests out already. And I'm super happy at the moment. And he's on the back foot. I'm going to get my Migdol up. He's not really got any way to stop me. I'm also, during this Eclipse, I'm also getting a lot of favor from my monuments as well. With Eclipse, you get a boosted favor gather rate of about 30%, I think, on your monuments. So that's like me having almost 4 monuments out for the entire time this Eclipse is up. So I'm going to be able to get a bunch of Scorpion men out and also start really pumping these units out to push forward and go and kill my opponent. You can actually see I'm just super in front on economy here. He's so far behind, and I can actually buy some wood if I really want. I'm getting Spirit of Mart, which is going to be a huge upgrade for my priests. Yes, it makes them cheaper, but more importantly, it boosts their healing rate. This was nerfed in the recent patch, so it's not as good anymore, but plus 50% is still going to be moving that healing rate from 7.5 well up into the threshold of this is scary good. It used to be 100%. You used to get 15 HP a second per priest, and you could heal more than 1 unit at a time. Sorry, you could heal 1 unit with more than 1 priest at a time, which is kind of a really big deal. Okay, so he's in the heroic age. I put economic damage onto him. I'm now simply looking to get a gold staff. I know that he's put a lot of dwarves on gold already, and all I need to do is be scouting around with these Scorpion men and checking everything. I'm going to see the gold mine is gone or just about to be gone, and I can literally just move forward and start putting some serious pressure onto my opponent here. Probably should be spending my resources a little bit better. There's no real reason to have 600 gold in the bank building priests at this point. There's no problem with that. I catch a cheeky little mountain giant out. I got 2 temples down as well. This is a pretty good idea, definitely considering how good myth units are in Age of Mythology. Getting two temples out will be able to get allow you to spend all that gold you're getting and really defend against any mass myth units. As he clicks Walking Woods, and Walking Woods is a really, really strong god power. But if I have 8 priests out, 10 priests out, it's not that good anymore. And I'll also throw on some barracks down to make sure that I got some axemen to deal with his infantry units. As he's pushing forward, my priests here will be able to defend in a big way. All I got to do is snipe down those Herser, and my Scorpion Man is going to be getting some serious wins here in this fight. And really, that's not much he can do. As he really probably even shouldn't be fighting this at the moment. He should be trying to turtle up as hard as he can and secure a gold mine with a hill fort. But yeah, he's going to be chasing my Scorpion. I got to heal the Scorpion Man. Don't let it die. Don't let the Scorpion Man die. There we go. Big heals. Look at how fast it goes up HP. That's one priest healing it. That's insane. It's already up to 70 HP. And he does tap out. So, super strong strategy. There is also a fast mythic variant of this. If your opponent is playing really, really defensively and not going for any sort of timing attacks, you can go straight to the Mythic Age and get Thoth. Obviously, this stuff has been nerfed with the Mythic Age taking 2 minutes to research and the Heroic Age taking now 75 seconds to research. But I don't think 15 seconds is a big enough deal to neuter this strategy. So definitely give it a go. But I'm also going to give you guys now a little cheeky counter strategy, especially for Loki. It also will work for Odin, but a counter strategy to try and take out a fast heroicing Isis. It's a very all-in strategy, a lot of fun, but let's jump into it now. Okay, so this is the counter strategy, or an idea to attempt to counter what Isis is doing. If Isis players start blindly doing this sort of a thing, you can definitely give this strategy a go. This also will have some success at lower levels versus some unsuspecting players who are just going to be sitting there trying to take their time. It's incredibly cheesy though. And there's definitely a lot of weaknesses to this strategy, but it's definitely something to give a try. I'm doing some cheeky ox cart micro. You don't have to do this. Just build another ox cart. But I wanted to do a very specific amount of gold gathering here in order to make this happen. This build order, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. I'm just trying to get enough wood to get myself my temple and a house up. Wasn't scouting because I'm bad. Definitely need to be scouting, setting that Ulfsark somewhere special. But yeah, this strategy is effectively going to be taking advantage of Loki's unique bonus of Berserks being free to convert, and also having an incredibly strong building killing god in Njord and also Heimdall. So the idea here is that our opponent, and especially some of the fast heroics that players are doing nowadays, a little bit slow in my opinion. Maybe the more pristine build orders might find themselves surviving a little bit easier against this sort of an attack. But a lot of the build orders I'm seeing are a little bit on the slow side. And this build order here, or this kind of strategy here, will be able to punish a timing as... yeah, this is the basic premise here is get heroic as absolutely fast as you possibly can and try and kill your opponent. Now, if it's the case here that you don't have aggressive hunt, like I picked Ghost Lake. This isn't a map on the ranked ladder, but you can do this on like Savannah with Rhino spawn, or like a hippopotamus spawn as well. Any sort of boar spawns. You probably even do this on Mediterranean as well if you are crazy enough to give it a try. So there's definitely some fun to be had here, or any sort of water map for that matter. But yeah, at this moment, basically my idea is I'm going to gather just exactly 135 wood, and I'm going to be attempting to get myself the fastest possible heroic age I can. Now, the weakness to this is Sphinx can come and kill you on your gold, so I would recommend sending a Herser back and sitting on the gold mine. All the rest of your villagers here will be sitting underneath your town center, so the Sphinx can't really stop you gathering food, but can stop you gathering from that gold there. I also put a temple behind my opponent's base here, just sneak that one in, click spy so I know what's going on. I can always abandon this strategy and go for something different, but... yeah, we're gonna be going for as fast of a heroic age as possible. when you're thinking about doing this strategy or not, I guess, or when to bail on this strategy or not, I guess one thing to kind of keep in mind is what is your opponent actually going for? So scouting out, are they going for a fast heroic, or are they going for a classical fight, or are they going for a fast second town center? The fast heroic is kind of obvious. If you take a look at their villager distribution, they're going to have a lot of villagers on food, a lot of villagers on gold, and not very many on wood, right? They're going to also throw down an armory or a market in the classical age very, very quickly. So you can kind of read that this stuff is coming without even knowing. If you're going to go for a town center, they're probably going to have about 10 villagers on gold as they're advancing to the classical age. So you're going to know that stuff with that spy that you've got in their main base. So that's going to be very, very good there. So we drop the market. You can see only one house. We don't need more than one house in this game. And we are just going to be finishing up on all of this hunt here. And we can see that Einherry is in our temple. And we're also going to get a mountain giant out there as well as walking woods. So it's a huge power spike. And what we'll see here is, I mean, he's gone for Anubis. I would sometimes be thinking about bailing on this strategy at this point, but I mean, maybe it's too late to bail at 4:30 when we've already dropped the armory in our main base here. But effectively, the plan here, and you can do this with Odin as well, right? The plan here is go through Njord. All of the resources we're going to be gathering right now, they're kind of irrelevant. We probably could, as Loki, just throw everyone onto gold. And then at least have some resources left over to make some dwarves if we need to continue the game. But as Odin, you're going to need a little bit more food and gold to convert. So your gatherers need gold, your to convert into berserks, and your dwarves need food to convert into berserks. And you will see that by the time we hit the heroic age, I'll actually have those resources. In fact, I'm building a Herser, so I didn't need to do that. And you can definitely get yourself up to enough food here to make yourself a significant amount of units. Now, I'm going to start sending my guys across the map here. I would recommend converting these to make them run faster. I was a bit silly on this and didn't really think it through. But yeah, you can get your opponent's base very, very quickly. I want to be in my opponent's base at 5 minutes and 45 seconds with this attack as the Walking Woods comes through. We're going to be sending our dudes in, and we're going to be ready to take this town center down before 6 minutes. It's under attack, and we're going to be able to definitely get some serious amounts of damage in here. So we kill the town center, we kill the villagers, we literally just rush in and kill everything in his main base here. You can imagine him going for a fast heroic. He's now going to have 800 food, 500 gold in the bank. But what's he going to be able to do to kill us off? We've just got so many berserks in his main base here. This game is won for us. If they've gone for this strategy, we hit them in a timing. That town center was dead before 6:30, which is kind of a fairly respectable heroic age timing as well. Any sort of amount of priests that our opponent is trying to build to keep themselves alive are going to get mowed down by the berserks running in. And yeah, this strategy here is going to be a nice attempt to kind of counter any sort of blind cheese that ISIS players are going to be going for. So if you're a Norse player and you're getting absolutely brutalized by this strategy, definitely recommend trying Odin or Loki and giving this one a go. Walking Woods was slightly nerfed. You only got 7 now, but in all honesty, I don't think one less tree here is going to make any difference in this sort of a situation. Like, you're gonna kill everything off. Like against a real player and not against an AI, they're probably gonna have a couple of priests out, so you do have to focus those down with the berserks, but it shouldn't be too challenging. With Heimdall as well, with Undermine, you can take out a couple of towers, or even like also tower and town center. Everything's gonna fall and you get the dub. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I like the idea of giving you a broken strategy and a potential counter to said broken strategy. It's definitely going to be something worthwhile trying on the ladder, and also maybe even in Red, but we might see this sort of an idea. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.